It has been a news-filled week, as seems to be the case. Nowadays, things are happening so fast, it's hard to keep up. But there are a couple of things I want to say to put everything we're about to talk about in context. We're talking a lot, we're struggling, all of us, I think, with how to prevent ourselves and our society and our media from, quote unquote, normalizing Donald J. Trump and Stephen Bannon and the rest of this crew and what they represent. We don't want to make it part of the political mainstream to do what they do. They are extreme. They are dangerous. They could take this country in a very, very, very disturbing direction. So, of course, we don't want to not normalize them. And that's been a big part of the discourse on the Democratic side of the ledger. But I also think, and I think it will be a recurrent theme in today's program, I also think it's important not to normalize the rest of those SOBs in the Republican Party either, because I think that the modern Republican Party and the modern so-called conservative movement has veered so far away from the common consensus of what it means to be part of the American community that I think as we look not only at Donald Trump, but at Paul Ryan, at Mike Pence, at Mick Mulvaney, at some of the other people who are involved in this administration and the Republican Party in general, I think we find a group of people who don't share in the American dream and the American value system as it came to be understood for nearly a century in this country. So, my vote is don't normalize any of them. Look, and don't panic either. We can beat Trump. Nixon was a dangerous guy too, and people say, well, Trump is much more worse. Trump is much worse, more worse. And he is. He's much more worse, folks. But Nixon had some of the same paranoia. He had some of the same instability. Nixon even wanted to design like lurid, garish uniforms for the White House guards. We survived Nixon by standing tough and fighting back. And Nixon at the end was talking to the portraits of the president on the wall and getting drunk and asking Henry Kissinger to pray with him. So Nixon was out there. We survived by sticking to the values that allowed us to survive. We had Bush and Cheney in there. One guy was out to lunch. One guy was out to destroy us. And we survived them too. It was tough. A lot of people died. A lot of blood and treasure was sacrificed needlessly. But we sacrificed we sacrificed and we hung in there by staying true to our values. Now we've got Donald Trump in office. He is dangerous. He needs to be removed. If we can remove him, let's do it. But let's not normalize Mike Pence, for example, who has a lot of very strange ideas of his own. Let us not pretend that the world will be a beautiful place to live in if Donald Trump is gone and Mike Pence becomes president of the United States. Let us fully understand a Paul Ryan who walks around like a human smiley face, but proposes the most brutal and vicious policies that could destroy millions of lives. Let us not normalize Mitch McConnell, the Senate leader of the Senate Majority Leader in the United States Senate, who has cheated and broken the rules and broken all norms of civility. Let's not normalize any of them. Let's just fight for a better country.